Hey,
Hey guys, it's Monica and
Edgar.
Edgar from hopq.com. In today's video, we're gonna be talking about pros and cons of living in Gold Coast. So let's start with why we like Gold Coast, why we choose to be here, and yeah,
Well, I think one of the reasons is the weather.
yes.
We were first living in Melbourne and it was really cold. And you could say that 3/4 of the year it's really cold.
Yes.
And then it's just like very, like 3 months, 4 months, if you are lucky, quite nice weather.
Yeah. So here is basically like, well, we have now winter, and you can see we are in t-shirts, and it's about 20 degrees. So it's really nice. Sometimes at night I think it's getting cold. It can be like 7 degrees or 8. So it might be a little bit cold, but so like most of the time it's really sunny. So even if it's winter at 20 degrees, but still you have very sunny days. Yeah, sometimes it's rainy, and when it's rainy, like it's really rainy, but still it's warm, you know, it's like 15 degrees or 20. So yeah, the weather is really nice. So for sure, if you like warm weather, if
Like tropical weather.
tropical weather, because yeah, we have like basically two seasons. You could say like it's summer and winter, but basically it's like a wet season and dry season.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah.
now we're entering into the wet
Wet,
season.
yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you like that kind of weather, that's probably gonna be perfect place for you. What's the second?
I don't know, if you don't like a lot of people, like huge cities, definitely Gold Coast is nice spot to be.
Yeah, because you know it's not big city. It's basically 700,000 people here. So you can say that it's not a small town, but it's not a big city. So it's something in between. But still, you have everything that you can, you know, ask for in a big city. So you have cinemas, you have swimming pools, you have cafes, bars,
Huge
restaurants,
malls.
huge malls. Yeah, they're massive. So yes, if let's say you don't really like big cities like Melbourne or Sydney, which is like 4 or 5 million people, but you still like to enjoy more city life, Gold Coast is really good choice.
Yeah, and definitely you need to like nature. If you are here in Gold Coast, wherever you look at it, there's nature everywhere.
Yes, it's very like, if you are an outdoor person, so for sure you will like it, because yeah, we are in the middle of the city, and it's basically like a national reserve, and it's beautiful.
What is the name of the zoo that is quite close? Just right there?
Currumbin Wildlife Sanctuary is really close, as well as in the middle of the city. It's kind of like a zoo, but
Like open range zoo. Most of the animals are
yeah,
outside and they have huge cages.
yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
So yeah, that's something cool as well. Like comparing to Melbourne, for example, in Melbourne, if you want to, let's say, enjoy a little bit of the wildlife, you need to drive at least 2 hours to go outside the city.
Yeah.
So it's basically the whole day trip. And here, no, here's like, this place is 20 minutes from our house, and so that's something good. I think as well the fourth or the third point would be the prices, like accommodation,
Oh, yeah.
obviously.
Yeah, the accommodation is cheaper than in Melbourne. We were paying in Melbourne $350 for a room in Melbourne,
Yeah.
and here we have private granny flat that is like a studio, you can think.
Yeah, you can see, well, I record a video about our house in Gold Coast, so you can see it. I will leave the link below. Yeah. but yes, definitely the prices are more affordable, let's say, and you are earning the same money because Australia has that kind of policy that doesn't matter where you are, if you are in a big city or in a small town, the salaries,
The minimum salary is very high.
yeah, the minimum salary is very high, and as well the salaries for the specific occupation are always the same. What does it mean? It doesn't mean if I'm gonna be working as a, let's say, a concierge in Melbourne, and then I'm gonna move to the small town, I'm gonna be earning the same amount of money, at least the minimum. So that's something good, because you know, like you are in Gold Coast and you are spending much less money for accommodation, but you are still earning the same like in the big city.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for sure, yeah, that's good.
What is the cons that you? I think there's the point that you can feel that it's quite a slow city,
Yeah.
quite like boring. But what do you think?
Yeah. I think it's a little bit boring in the way, like obviously, well, we moved from Melbourne, so Melbourne is a huge city basically, and there's much much more things around happening. So there's a lot of pubs, restaurants, like each district
International students as well.
international students. There's each district is a little bit different. So that's what we really like about Melbourne. And here as well you have like a small, let's say, district. So you have Gold Coast as a whole city, but then you have Currumbin, you have Kira, you have Miami, you have Surfers Paradise, and each one is a little bit different.
At least there's. Oh gosh! You have to see that.
So yeah,
Grab a fish.
if you like wildlife, you will like it here.
Okay.
Well, that's nice.
I hope you focus.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the thing. We arrived here when all this COVID
COVID-19
situation,
starts.
yeah. So everything is basically closed, and all the
People from Victoria cannot arrive to Queensland. People from New South Wales, they cannot arrive. Just the people who live in the border can enter into Queensland, but certain amount of kilometers they are not allowed to go.
all the way on the north or somewhere.
Yeah.
And well, and what does it mean for us? Basically, it means that a lot of places here in Gold Coast are closed, because Gold Coast is a very touristic place, very touristic city. So there's like lots of hotels, restaurants, pubs, and because of COVID and because of lack of tourism here, everything is closed. So if it's closed for tourists, it's closed for us as well. So yeah, that's something. It just feels quite slow now, but probably it's like that everywhere. Yeah, so I think that's like the biggest minus of Gold Coast. That it seems to be quite boring, unless you like party and then you have Surfers Paradise and you can be drinking in the pubs all the time. But
hopefully after COVID we can see how it is
yeah,
properly, because probably some people will say, oh, it's amazing and there's party everywhere, but
yeah.
because of the pandemic we haven't seen that. You know?
Another thing, if it's like, I think a big advantage of Gold Coast is that it's more Australians here. I know that sounds awful. It's not like we are racist or something, but you know, like some people are going to Australia and they really want to experience Australia. So I think like being here, it's kind of more like possible than being in Sydney or in Melbourne, because Melbourne is basically, or Sydney, very multi-culti, and you basically have you feel like there's
You're in
more.
Asia, no?
Yeah, you feel like you're in Asia, and we don't mind, because like I love Asian food and everything.
The people.
But like, you know, some people are going to Australia and they're in Melbourne and they are wondering like, oh, where are actually Australians and Australia? So yeah, it's not in Melbourne, obviously. So if you want to really feel that
The Australian experience.
yeah, you need to
Culture
basically,
of Australia.
yeah, Gold Coast or small towns, villages. That's something like probably better option if you want to.
I think there's a fish over there.
Yeah.
Well, it's nature.
Yeah. What I don't really like about Gold Coast, that on the other hand, you know, like in Melbourne you have that multiculti, and you can think that it's not that cool, but then in Gold Coast you don't have that multiculti, which can be a plus, but as well it can be minus because you know
It's more difficult to make friends, no?
it's first it's more difficult to make friends, and second there's not that variety of food.
Yeah.
So like, you know, in Melbourne we were living in Richmond, and it's a kind of Asian Vietnamese district, and there's lots of restaurants with amazing cheap food but delicious. And here, you know, to find good Asian restaurant, it's really hard. The same with Polish food. There's like almost impossible to find Polish food, and if you find it, it's very expensive. The same with Mexican food. If we want to
No, yeah. I think with Mexican people here in Gold Coast eat a lot of Mexican food. There's a lot of I've seen a lot of restaurants. I
well,
don't know.
but Mexican food is everywhere basically. Everyone loves Mexican food. But with Polish food it's very difficult. Like if let's say if you are coming to Australia, and if you are from Poland or from Europe, and you know that you can't really eat anything else than Polish food, you can probably a bit struggle here because it's very hard to find, and if you find it, it's very expensive. So it's different than in Melbourne, because in Melbourne there's more international, let's say, groups, so they have more European shops as well, which is amazing, because here you can basically find stuff that you could find a shop in Poland. Yeah.
But I think in overall it's really nice city to live, to have the experience of being here. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And we were lucky to escape Melbourne. Well, we moved basically on the pandemic again,
Mhm.
as I said before, and here there's now so many restrictions. There we don't even need to go out with the masks,
Mhm.
and basically everywhere in the world
Yes.
it's like a must. You need to use the mask. And here it's doing well. We're doing well, so
Yeah.
hopefully it stays like that.
So just to sum up. So if you like nice weather, like nice in the way that it's warm, sunny, you're gonna like Gold Coast. If you are looking for quite affordable but nice accommodation as well, Gold Coast is a good option, rather than the big cities like Melbourne or Sydney.
Yeah, definitely for international students.
Yeah.
No? The schools are
Cheaper.
cheaper here.
Yes.
Accommodation is cheaper.
Public transport is awful, so that's the only problem as
Yeah.
well. That if you don't have your own car, and if you live outside a little bit outside the city center, then
It can be difficult. No?
it's difficult.
move around.
Yeah.
You definitely will need a scooter or something.
Yeah. Okay, so that will be probably everything. If
We
you
are- We close the video now? Yep.
so if you live in Gold Coast, or if you have ever been to Gold Coast and you have any comments,
Yeah, let the comments be under and
and
tell us your experience and what you would like to see here in Gold Coast.
Okay, so thank you so much, and if you like it, subscribe, and see you next time.
Bye.